Hi, I hope you're doing well today. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple verses that give me a lot of encouragement and hope. And first, before I read this verse, I want to preface this with a little bit of talk about the world today. And all of the things going on in Israel and Russia and Ukraine and the UK with the digital ID, and just general lawlessness running rampant. There's a lot going on. And if you're familiar at all with the Bible, it can be kind of troubling. There's also been stuff going on in the sky, and you remember the drones a couple months ago, like maybe almost a year ago now. Just crazy stuff. It's easy to get worried about this kind of stuff. It's easy to get caught up in it and just really wondering where we're headed in this world. For one, it's important for us to always know and remember that God is always in control. Nothing takes him for surprise, and he's always got it under control. And we have nothing that we need to worry about. And if we do have any cares and worries, we can. He wants us to cast them on him. 1 Peter 5:7. One of the things that really encourages me when I get to thinking, things like that, like where in the world is this world headed towards, and what are we gonna do? The future just looks so bleak. What about our children? I have 2 children, and I could definitely bite on my fingernails all day thinking about where the world is headed. But I find a lot of encouragement and hope in this book right here. And so I want to read a couple verses. I don't know if I will go into other passages or not, but the main one that has been on my mind for a while now is Matthew chapter 24, verse number 37. It says, "As the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be." And then it goes on explaining, there will be 2 in the field, and 1 will be taken, 2 women grinding at the mill, and 1 will be taken, 2 in a bed, 1 will be left, 1 will be taken. So this passage in the Bible is just so incredibly comforting to me, because if you belong to God, if you are a child of God and you have put your faith in God and recognize that your entry into heaven is not of your own doing, but only of Jesus Christ and him alone, 100% Jesus, 0% you, then you can know that all of the things in the world that are happening in the world right now, and how bleak the future looks, we are not subject to wrath. We are the bride of Christ. The church now in this age is the bride of Christ, and we are not subject to God's wrath. And it says in these verses that when he comes to get us, things are going to be normal enough that we are still going to be having weddings. We are still going to be eating and drinking. We are still going to be building. It says, this similar passage is also in Luke, and it talks about also Lot and Sodom and Gomorrah, and how they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, and building, and up until the day when fire and brimstone came down on Sodom and Gomorrah, just like up until the day when the floods came with Noah. And so that's very comforting to me, because we know that as bad as things look, we know that when Jesus comes back to get us, things are going to be normal enough that, things have changed in the last few years, but, we're still marrying. There are still marriages. We are still eating and drinking every day. We are still building. And I can tell you this. If you read the chapters in Revelation, which lays out the events that will take place during the tribulation, there is not going to be weddings. There is not going to be eating and drinking. I mean, of course, people, you have to eat and drink to survive, but people are going to die of starvation and die of thirst. And it's going to be a special day on a day that you can eat and drink. That's not going to be normal, as crazy and absurd as it sounds, that, it's a special day when you get to eat and drink. And festivities like marriages, or plans and progression like building new buildings and stuff, that sort of stuff is not going to be going on in the tribulation. And so I hope that all makes sense, and I just find it so encouraging. I do believe in a pre-tribulation rapture. I do believe that the horrors that are described in the last days are saved for those who do not know Christ. So I just pray today that you do know Christ as your Savior, and if you don't, if you have any questions, you can reach out. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can ask Him, go to the Lord, ask Him to reveal Himself to you. That's what I did. That is what I did, and He is faithful. He is faithful to those who diligently seek Him, and just ask Him with a humble heart to reveal Himself to you, and He will. So that's all for today, and I just pray that you are blessed by this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.